This is Sean Kustom, aka Swagzilla. You're listening to Ringside Wrestling with Michael and Dando.
Hey guys, Michael and Dano here for the Ringside Wrestling podcast, and today our guest is the man who is set to take on Mr. Juicy this Friday night at WrestleClash. He's of course Sean Kustom. Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you guys going?
We are always good. How are you, Michael?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty good. You know, I'm just kind of sitting here, bobbing back and forth in front of the microphones. Very sexual day here at the Dando Mansion.
Now, this is your first interview. How have you been a wrestler for so long yet done no phone interviews before?
I have got no idea. I was meant to actually do a podcast with Max Comic, you know, his wrestling podcast that he's been doing around Australia and whatnot. But,
of course.
Yeah. We just never eventually got around to doing it, so yeah, this is my first one.
Are you a little scared?
Not really. It just feels just a bit awkward, but I think I'll get into it.
Yeah, it becomes really awkward when everyone starts talking over everyone else, and then on your end you're like, shit, I wish they'd let me talk, and then on my end I'm like, God, won't this guy shut up? It gets a little like that.
No, it's alright.
Is there anything off grounds with you?
No, I'm pretty much straightforward with everything. There's nothing that's really going to hold me back or anything like that, so...
Well, that's good to know. So, now that we've scared you with this, is there anything we can't say? Let's go with some vanilla stuff first. Dando said, how have you been doing this long and not had an interview yet? How long is this long?
Well, I've been in wrestling since, I guess, like, my very first show was March 2010. So, I guess it's been pretty much over 4 years, yeah.
Have you always had the same gimmick, the One Direction lover? No, definitely haven't always had the same gimmick. I originally started off in wrestling just as a generic babyface, as you could say. Throughout the years, it's just kind of progressed, and I just guess over time, like, it's just really moved into this kind of like Swagzilla gimmick that I'm doing now, which is more up to date and more modern with today's kind of era, and like kids growing up and stuff like that, and yeah.
So with the you know, you're Swagzilla now, but with the One Direction thing, that's the first thing I saw you do, and I thought it was amazing. It requires the giantest of balls. What was that character kind of aimed at? Because I kind of looked at it as, is it possibly a comedy gimmick? But then I was corrected. It's like, no, it's not, because, you know, he's still in there working. So what was the goal of the One Direction thing?
It's really hard to try to describe it, really. It was really just me just pretty much being myself, but just in a really douchebag way. So it's really hard to explain. Like, there was nothing really One Direction-y about it. The only thing that was One Direction is that was my entrance song. And really, all it was just my personality to the max. But yeah, like, just turned up way too much and over the top.
Yeah, no, if you come out to the One Direction song, you're the One Direction guy. That's just how it happens.
Yeah. Oh, at the moment, it's a combination of One Direction and Miley Cyrus. So I've actually mixed both of them up.
Miley Cyrus?
Yes.
Is that where your musical kind of interests go? Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just asking, like, how much should I shit on One Direction here without feeling like a douchebag?
No. When it comes to me and music, I have a large variety of music that I listen to. So it's pretty much from rock to that to metal to anything. So I'm all over the shop with music. So
do you think that the Swagzilla thing is going to be a long-term character for you, or do you see it sort of evolving to something else soon?
At the moment, I see it as a Swagzilla that's going to stick around for a while. I think I'm still trying to find exactly what Swagzilla is. But yeah, over the years, I think I'm going to stick with it and just see how we go. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'll move on and try something else.
Can I just say I love the trademark squeal?
The trademark squeal, yes. They always love it.
Is the Swagzilla gimmick, is it something, you know, you kind of cop shit about? Because, you know, you're going up against Mr. Juicy, and we were there at the last WrestleClash show, and he kind of comes off like a bit of a locker room bully. So, do you cop any shit from the boys about the gimmick? Or is it kind of just, you know...
I honestly don't think they give me too much shit about the gimmick. They actually just give me shit just because I'm me. Also.
Was it Rocky? We asked if he had a question for you, and I think the question just was, why are you gay?
That was how long ago did you realise you were a homosexual?
I'm about as straight can be, mate.
Will you tell Rocky that?
Yeah, I'll have to.
So the guys pretty much. Do you think they respect your character? Because there's no one else really doing what you're doing at the moment, from what we've seen.
I think they respect it. It's just they just don't want to show that they respect it.
And how do they not show the respect?
By just I guess like they don't want to show that they think it's good because it's different. They're scared of it, I guess. I'm not too sure. Yeah.
They're scared of it like you are of your sexuality.
So, you're wrestling Juicy on Friday. Is this the first time you've ever wrestled Juicy?
No, I actually wrestled Juicy last year in an intergender tag team match. It was at MCW. I think it was Ballroom Brawl, and it was myself and Shazza McKenzie against Mr. Juicy and Casey Cassidy.
She is smoking, by the way.
Yeah. I can't really comment on that, but yes.
Why not? If King can comment on Paige's ass, I'm sure you're okay.
Well, yeah, that's true. But they both have boyfriends, so I'm not going to really go into that.
Fair enough.
Kind of detail. So
let's plug your new Swagzilla merch, by the way.
Oh, the new Swagzilla merch. Yeah, so I've got some swaggish pink hats that I'll be selling at WrestleClash. They'll be selling for $20. I will actually be having Swagzilla stickers soon, but unfortunately I won't have them ready for this Friday at WrestleClash.
Are those stickers to go on your bumper so you can, represent, Swagzilla 24/7?
Yes, that is pretty much about it. So yeah, it's really designed for anything. You can stick it on your car, you can stick it on a window, you can stick it on your fridge. I'm pretty sure you could even stick it on the hats as well. So
what you should do, right, is you should stick it on your bathroom mirror. So every morning when you wake up and look in your mirror, you're like, that's right, fucking Swagzilla.
That's right, Swagzilla, baby.
How long till your main eventing WrestleClash do you think? Because, I mean, if Edwin Lake can main event one, you can, surely.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I will in hopefully the next coming shows. I've main evented multiple other shows in Australia, so I don't see anything holding me back wrestling in the main event of WrestleClash. So
it's we don't get to see it a lot because it's not something we can really do. Travel interstate to see a whole bunch of other shows and stuff. Is WrestleClash kind of its own entity when it comes to not having a champion? Because every time I just think that's weird. Every time I think about it, that there's no strap.
Yeah. I find WrestleClash is very different to every other promotion in Australia, which is really good because you don't want to be the same as everyone else. So what WrestleClash is, it's very unique and it's very standalone, and I think it's honestly the best promotion in Australia at the moment.
Do you think it's because it doesn't take itself too seriously?
I don't think it's because of that. I just think it's because it's so different, and it's like every show is different as well. Like the shows that we put on, they're not always the same. They've got a different theme every show as well. So we're just bringing different things to every show. So it's good.
I think. What are your thoughts though on the cheap heat in the main event, where they always just get ethnics wrestling you guys?
Well, it's not really that story this show, but I guess in the past.
No, it kind of is.
Yeah. Yeah, but in the previous shows, it really was that. But I think in the more coming shows, I think it's just gonna be more about us rather than the themes main eventing the show. So.
Do you see some more room for some, extended kind of storylines? I mean, you've already got the one, Edwin Lay, dick punching, all that sort of stuff. That's been going over a few shows now, but it seems to be the one and only. Do you think there's more room for that, or if they were to put that in, do you think it takes away from the differentness a little bit?
I believe that we probably will go into more storyline sort of things and build-ups than just putting one person against another person and then moving on and not progressing. I think over the next year or so, we'll definitely progress into some more stories, exactly, and build-ups between characters.
Do you think it's easier to put a match together once you've got that sort of storyline happening in the background, as opposed to, hey, you're so and so, you're going to wrestle tonight?
Yeah, well, with when you're working towards something, you have obviously something to work towards, and you can use everything. But when it's just kind of like, oh, you're facing him, that's it. Like, you've got really nothing to work off. Whereas you're kind of working towards something if you know where you're going.
Yeah. What do you like least about where your career is at the moment? Like, did you have any set goals? Did you have any sort of vision about where you would be right now? And like, are you happy with where you've achieved so far?
This is actually something that's bothered me quite a lot lately. I guess it was weird when I first got into wrestling. I thought everything would happen quite quickly, and I'd be over in the States. I'd be hopefully wrestling over there and whatnot. But I just guess over this past 4 years, it's just gone so quickly, and it's kind of like a little bit overwhelming. And I thought I'd honestly be in the States by now, but I'm nowhere near it, to be honest. So it's kind of a bit daunting, but I'm still happy with where I am at the moment. It's just that I'd rather be a lot further, but it's just taking a bit more time, I guess.
So when you see a guy like, I don't know, what's his name, Buddy Murphy at the moment in NXT?
Matt Silver.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So do you watch NXT very often? I know not many people do.
I try to watch NXT as much as I can, just because I really like the product, but I don't watch it week in, week out. It's more once or twice a month or so. So yeah.
Did you happen to catch his debut a couple of weeks ago?
I did see a highlight video. I didn't see the whole match. I just saw the ending of it, I believe.
Well, I think the match only went for like a minute, so that highlight video might have actually been the match.
Yeah, no.
So when you see that, when you see someone coming from where you've come from and then going over there, busting their ass, and then their debut is like a 1 minute squash match, does that kind of make I'm not as far as I want to be, but hey, at least I'm not getting squashed in my 60-second debut? Does that kind of help it a little bit?
See, if I was in that position, I knew that, like, that's probably the way everyone's going to start off, and then from there it's just going to progress. So I wouldn't say that, but I think I'd definitely prefer to be in Buddy Murphy's position, but yeah, it's just going to take time to get over there, and hopefully it happens one day. So.
Is that true, though? Is that how NXT works? I mean, I thought that was the whole point of NXT, where you didn't have to come out and get squashed, because, you know, you've got a lot of off stuff you can do, and then when you actually get to an NXT taping, you know, you've had some matches and stuff, so they don't have to put you in that squash position because John Cena doesn't want to lose to the new guy.
Yeah, no, I can see what you mean. It just really depends on how you come in. Like, he honestly didn't have the greatest match to come in on. Like facing the Ascension, which they've held the tag team belts for quite some time now. They're very dominant, so it probably wasn't the best way for him to come in. But I guess in the NXT, for NXT, it should really be, you should be able to showcase what you can do. Whereas he didn't get the opportunity to do that, and he really just got squashed. So yeah.
Well, you said yourself just before that you're not entirely happy with where you are right now. You thought you'd be a bit further. What are you doing to solve this? Like, what are the plans going forward?
Plans going forward is I'm actually hoping to be over in LA at the end of this year for about 3 or 4 weeks, and just going to hopefully have a few shows over there and see what we can do and see how it is and see how I like it, and then from there I'll probably come back to Australia after that. And obviously just try to save up and eventually move over there and hopefully get picked up.
Are the days of going, you know, it's kind of, you do your regional stuff, which I guess you consider, you know, in the grand scheme of things, what you're doing in Australia is pretty close to your regional stuff of back in the day. Then, you know, you kind of headed over to Mexico and then Japan, and then, you know, maybe WWE took a look at you. Is that not how it works anymore, or is it just, you know, several years that you have to bank and possibly get nothing out of it?
Yeah, I'm going to say that, like, for you to get noticed in the indies by the WWE, it's going to take at least 8 to 10 years. Like, for them to actually notice you and not to go for a tryout, like, really that's the only way they're going to be able to see you is if you go for a tryout. Whereas if you've been in the Indies for 10 or 12 years, they'll know of you, and they'll actually, I guess, kind of like chase you down, which is what happened to Daniel Bryan and Antonio Cesaro. They were in the Indies for ages, and they eventually just got signed. So
when you see someone, to say Matt Silva, who's come from where you are, as Michael said, and he's now making it somewhat, even it's just NXT. Are you happy for him, or does it give you hope as an Aussie wrestler that you can make it in WWE, or is it sort of fuck that guy? I want to be in his spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that was one of the things I was always really worried about. Was back when I was when I was 15 or 16, I was like, man, like no one's in the WWE from Australia. Like what's going on? But now since Tennille or Emma and Matt Silva's done that, it kind of shows that it can be done, and like it doesn't make me say, oh, screw Matt Silva, I want to be in his position. It kind of motivates me more to try and get there because it can be done.
Do you think they haven't handled Emma very well though? I mean, her character, like it's good and all, however, it's not who she is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I guess with like the characters that they're given stuff, it's just kind of like they give it to you, and you got to run with it. It kind of sucks in that position, but yeah, you just got to do it. If you want to stick with your dream job, you just got to do it, and I guess pay your dues, as they say.
While we are on a bit of a WWE bend at the moment, Money in the Bank, do the Wyatts walk out with every title or not?
Do the Wyatts walk out with every title?
Yeah, because they're not the Divas, obviously, unless.
Yeah, I doubt they'll get that title, but I reckon they'll walk out with the tag team title, but not the WWE World Heavyweight title.
Surely you don't think they're going to put it on Roman Reigns, do you? Because that would be silly.
No, definitely not yet. I reckon he'll have the belt soon, but not that soon. He'll probably pick it up more like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, or something like that. But I think possibly, as much as I don't want to see it happen, John Cena might pick it up.
Yeah. Do you think it could be part of the, hey fans, we tried it your way. We gave this great storyline to, well, great, not great, whatever your prerogative is. But we gave this long storyline to Daniel Bryan. We put the strap on him, and then he decided to go get married and take time off. And then some unfortunate stuff where he needed to take time off because, a family member passed. And now he's injured. Do you think it's just a case of Vince going, you know what? Fuck this guy. We tried, but he's not there, so we need to go back to our proven entity. Hulk Hogan's too old, so let's give it to Cena.
Well, with the whole Daniel Bryan thing, I honestly think the original idea for WrestleMania wasn't for him to win the strap, but with the WWE Universe, they've pretty much forced that on them to do it. And like Daniel Bryan already had planned that, or from my knowledge, he already had planned that him and they were going to get married that like the following weekend. So I think like with him getting injured didn't help the picture, but like they have to do something about it. So I guess what's the next best thing they can do? John Cena.
Do you see him going back there, like getting back to that height? Because it's like if it was my business, man, it's just like JBL said, you can get another wife. You might only get one chance to get the title. And it's if it was my business, I wouldn't be wanting to take that chance because your champion needs to do a lot more than just be there on the night. And if you can't even be there on the night, how are you going to do your off-camera stuff as well?
Yeah, no, I definitely see what you mean. It might be hard for him to get back there, but maybe the universe will get behind him again and push him up there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'd like to see him at the top again, but it just really depends on how the WWE use him as well, I guess.
Does it upset you that you have to say WWE Universe and not just fans? Like, are you trained to say that now, or?
No. Well, I was going to say fans, but I just felt like kind of like giving them a plug for WWE Universe.
Do you have the WWE Network?
No, I don't. No.
Oh man, even if you don't get the network, even if you go online and get it illegally, you got to get Legends House. Yeah, it's.
Oh really?
Oh, 3 episodes in a row, they had me crying like a baby. It is the best thing on TV right now.
Well, I've got the next best thing to the Dodo network. I've got, have you guys heard of XWT, Extreme Wrestling Torrents?
No.
Probably shouldn't say this online, but...
No, this show's on the Torrent this network, so you can say what you like.
We're pro-torrents here.
Oh, okay. That makes all sense. Yeah, but that's the main thing that I use is XWT to get all my wrestling sources. So
I did not know about this, so I'm very glad that you told me.
Yeah. So I keep up to date with ROH, PWG, New Japan.
How was their pay-per-view, by the way? I haven't watched it yet. I downloaded it.
The ROH one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I've got it downloaded, and I'll probably watch it on my way to Melbourne, I guess. Which is tomorrow, so...
Well, yeah, it's... I have a question for you. I think it's going to become a staple. I think I'm going to ask everyone. TNA's got, what, 3 months left?
Yeah, I give it most 6 to 8 months.
When you see that, though, and, you know, we don't know what's happened behind the curtain, but we can assume some serious mismanagement. But
yeah.
Does that annoy you? Because that's one less spot for you to go to now.
Yeah, like... It does annoy me to an extent because of how good they used to be, like back in 2007, 2008, 2009 even. It's really when Hulk Hogan came in and just kind of ruined it for me. So it does annoy me, but yeah, it's just something that I can't really do anything about it, but you just kind of have to go on with it. When
you say that Hogan ruined it for you, do you think he maliciously set out to ruin it for you individually, or was just him being there, was that just a turn-off?
Him just being there was just instantly a turn-off because I knew exactly straight away it was going to be another WCW, which obviously turned out to be. And then even when they kind of like left the company as well, like him and Bischoff and whatnot, like the company really couldn't come back from what happened to them. So yeah, it was pretty much initially from that point that Hogan came in, I just lost interest, and from there it's just kind of gone down and it's never picked back up again.
I feel like I should know this because I'm interviewing you. How old are you again, sorry?
22 years old.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense because I'm sitting there going, how could he possibly be saying anything negative about Hulk Hogan? But I'm 26.
How old did you think I was?
Well,
I was going to say 21.
Oh, see, I thought older. I thought you're about my age. Sometimes I forget that I'm on the wrong side of 20 now. So,
okay,
but
so
I grew up with like
27,
26, yeah,
26. Okay.
So I grew up with NWO Hogan. So I'm just like, when you're like, oh, when I saw Hogan, I lost interest. I'm like, how does that happen?
Yeah, but when it comes to wrestling, I was actually anti-WCW when I was growing up.
See, I wasn't anti-WCW. I just didn't really know it existed. So I'm shattered because I could have been enjoying all this NWO glory, but I missed it all.
Eric
but now
Bischoff,
you can relive it on the network.
Yes.
Eric Bischoff challenged Vince McMahon to a street fight on national TV. He said, come here and fight me. If that's not glorious, I don't know what is.
What would be the best and worst thing you've seen in wrestling?
Best and worst thing? Jeez, I haven't really thought about this, to be honest.
Have you been stunk-faced by Juicy yet?
Oh, yes, I have, and if it happens on Friday, I'm not going to be impressed, I can tell you that.
I could be pretty bad.
Yeah, so that would definitely be the worst thing that's happened to me in wrestling. The best thing, I really haven't had a glory moment, to be honest, in wrestling yet. I haven't captured any titles, so...
Well, just from a wrestling fan perspective, what's a moment that you can instantly think of and go, fuck, like you remember watching and going, this is why I watch wrestling?
Undertaker losing.
No, and it wasn't actually Undertaker losing. That did actually surprise me, but no, that wasn't it. I'll have to revert this back to my younger days when I was about 10 or 11 years old. I was watching WWF Survivor Series 2001. It was
Austin.
It was Team WWF against Team Alliance. And I just specifically remember that show, like skipping school that day and watching it live, and like just my heart just pounding, just making sure that the Team WWF would win. Oh,
So you were on team. How do you know Shane McMahon? Clearly the coolest of all McMahons. To side against him is blaspheme.
Yeah, no, he's really the best McMahon there is. But at that time, I was definitely against him.
At least you got something good for the first pay-per-view you ever watched live. The first one I ever watched live, Mae Young got her tits out.
Oh, not Royal Rumble 2000.
It was.
Oh, that's horrible.
I go back and watch it daily. I thought it was amazing. Anyway, man, let's plug your merch once more before we wrap this up. We've got to talk to Marcus Pitt, so let's get this going.
Oh, too easy. All right, well, are we just plugging the merch, or are we plugging anything else, or is that it?
Whatever you want to plug. We are a plug machine. Plug into us and plug us good.
All right, well, you can follow me on Twitter at Sean Kustom. You can follow me on Instagram at SwagzillaSK. That's SK for Sean Kustom, obviously. This Friday at Wrestle Clash, I'll have pink hats available, going at $20 a pop. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I've got to plug.
And where's Wrestle Clash again?
Oh, it's at 1,000-pound Ben, and the doors open, from my understanding, at 7:30, which we'll be hitting the show off with a sumo wrestling contest.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, with Mr. Juicy, who I'm actually facing later on that night.
Yeah, are the plants nice and ready? They know where they need to be in the audience?
Yeah, they'll be nice and ready.
All right, thanks for your time, man. Really do appreciate it, and good luck with Friday.
No worries. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Catch you, man.